In the early years of the 20th century, the world believed it had mastered the impossible. Industry roared, steel conquered distance, and the oceans that once divided continents were becoming highways of progress. From the shipyards of Belfast emerged a vessel unlike anything the world had ever seen: Titanic, a floating palace of steel and light, the largest moving object ever built by human hands, stretching longer than 4 city blocks, rising higher than most buildings of its time, and carrying the confidence of an entire age upon its decks. Crowds gathered along the docks of Southampton to witness the birth of a legend. Her 4 great funnels towered above the harbor, smoke drifting into the morning sky. Passengers stepped aboard in elegant coats and polished shoes, believing they were boarding the safest ship ever constructed. Newspapers called her unsinkable. Engineers called her the triumph of modern design. And for a moment, it seemed as if nothing on earth could challenge the might of the Titanic. More than a century after the Titanic vanished beneath the Atlantic, the question still echoes across the world. Could we bring her back? On the decks of modern research vessels, engineers and scientists gather above the very waters where she fell. Towers of steel cranes rise against the horizon. Cables coil like sleeping serpents across the deck. Computers glow with maps of the ocean floor, while robotic explorers prepare to descend into the cold, lightless depths below. Humanity has conquered mountains, crossed the skies, and walked upon the moon. And yet, standing above the Atlantic, one question remains. Could we raise the Titanic from the silence of the deep? 4 kilometers beneath the restless surface of the Atlantic, where sunlight has never touched the seafloor, lies the most famous shipwreck in human history, the Titanic, once called unsinkable, now resting in a darkness so complete that time itself seems to slow. At this depth, the ocean is not gentle. Every square meter of the seabed carries the crushing force of hundreds of atmospheres of pressure. Imagine dozens of jumbo jets stacked endlessly on every piece of the ship. The Titanic does not simply lie underwater. It lies beneath the weight of the entire ocean. But pressure alone is not what keeps the Titanic below. The real reason is stranger and far more tragic. After more than a century underwater, the Titanic is no longer truly a ship. Its steel has been slowly consumed by microscopic life. Tiny bacteria live on the Titanic, invisible architects of decay. They feed on iron itself, transforming the ship's metal into fragile towers of rust called rusticles, like underwater icicles. But made of a dying ship, from afar, the Titanic still appears massive, majestic, almost intact. But what looks solid is mostly hollow, its beams weakened, its decks collapsing, its skeleton slowly dissolving. The ship that once carried thousands is now as fragile as wet paper. Could modern technology raise the Titanic? We have lifted submarines, recovered aircraft, even moved entire buildings. But lifting the Titanic would require pulling tens of thousands of tons upward through crushing pressure. And the moment that force begins, the ship would tear apart. Not because the cranes are too weak, but because the Titanic is today, explorers approach the wreck carefully. Robotic arms rarely touch it, because even the lightest contact can send railings crumbling into clouds of rust. The Titanic is not waiting to be rescued. It is slowly returning to the sea. Scientists believe that within a few decades, the Titanic will collapse completely. What will remain will not be a ship, not even a wreck, only a rust-stained memory on the ocean floor. The Titanic was built to conquer the ocean, but the ocean never forgets, and it never returns what it takes. Slowly, silently, the greatest shipwreck in history is disappearing, and one day, the ocean will erase it forever.